What's good? What's good, everyone? Welcome to the Barbershop Talk. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way in. And right now we've got MOT in the building. We know he don't need an introduction. He's he's got his own successful channel, as we all know. But welcome, MOT.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, nothing much. Just trying to drop some of this Bible facts that we can all apply to our everyday lives. Um, what I guess what did you think about what I had to bring previously?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simple lesson, but um, you have to realize we don't live in a religious colony. Otherwise, all the older men within the environment for 2 generations past where we are would be embodying this, and this would kind of be a cultural norm,
Mm-hmm.
despite how simple the message was. But
Right.
when you have a certain level of disrepair among all levels of the actual environment, and people have been living opposite of this to get by for such a long time, this very simple message kind of gets lost and it gets not really practiced all
Okay. Yeah. You're right about that. This it is simple, but the older generation did fail that. Um, they failed younger men and just didn't give them the tools that they should have given them to be able to succeed and know how to operate through life. Um, but just because they didn't doesn't mean I feel it doesn't mean that I couldn't be the one to provide practical information on here, especially being we have this technology and everything that so many younger ones are invested in. So I wanted to have something that I could bring some practical knowledge that men could apply to their everyday lives.
the time. And what people don't understand is that the things that you hear, you're supposed to be able to fit them within your life and immediately go practice them. They're
Right.
just not for hearing and recirculating over again. And oh man, did you hear that? I like when they said it and hear it over it again. I mean, the hearing is one thing, and then you're supposed to commit it to private practice.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. You are supposed to commit it to private practice, and I think the other thing too. Speaking of the older generation, the younger ones didn't see them committing it to their actual everyday lives. So,
yeah,
they're saying one thing, but they see something else totally different. So, that's the other way that they failed them as well.
yeah. But it's like when you have individuals having beginner type conversations, acting like they don't know how we got here.
Mm,
That's really infuriating. Man. Like it would be infuriating for a guy who's 50 plus years old, letting all this stuff go on within the environment, and like not really say anything to anybody within the environment. It's like it can't just be me, a guy in my 40s who's trying to straighten all this stuff up. While
right.
everybody's trying to run a hustle, while everybody's trying to remake themselves into a man on everybody else's watch. It's like, listen, man, if people were productive throughout their whole life, they wouldn't have time to fail and become cool uncles back in their upper 40s and 50s, man. If you had
Right.
did what you were supposed to, you wouldn't need to come back and be the cool uncle.
Right.
You know?
Right. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. If you had, and and that was my thing, when I was younger. Well, I guess a old. I'm not too much younger than you, at 37, and I'm just saying, man, something ain't right. And I think that's been the best thing about being able to get on here to be able to talk with other brothers who noticed the same thing and say, damn, I ain't the only one. So now, with this right here, other younger guys can see the same thing too. Damn, I ain't the only one that noticed that this shit is fucked up.
Yeah. So you have to realize that we are still a very small percentage of people within a smaller percentage of people, within a smaller percentage of people. We're a minority group. We're a minority group within a minority group within a minority group. Like, they'll supposedly only be like maybe what, 2 or 3 of these people per neighborhood, you know?
Right.
And that's just where we at with it. You know, you just got to be able to go out and market to the people who actually needs to hear it, because a lot of people, they get out and they're gone, man. They're gone. They move to another country and they're gone, man. They're not coming back.
Right.
That's normally how the stuff works.
It is. It is. It is. I mean, once you have these guys that get around cultured people and they begin to see how they act, especially when you're talking about the first generations of these people that are here, and they see how they act and how they treat them and how they value them being cultured as well. So it's whenever they get around these people and they experience that, it really does make them say, hey man, why would I want to be here when I could go there and be around more quality people?
Yeah. And it's like, those are the things that we have going on here. And it's kind of hard when you have to minister toward people who can't hear you because they're too far gone. So you got to go up the mountain and kind of be the only person who has this information and kind of set up shop wherever you can, set up shop at,
Right. It's it. And that's been my whole thing, man. Getting on here and listening and conversating with guys like you and Marco, Zero, Agon, Lawrence, and many others, to hear this and to know that, hey man, I could this is what I study, and I'm not here to focus on the mystical stuff that I can't explain and don't even understand myself, but the practical and pragmatic aspects in here that can be applied that aren't taught within the church. I mean, regardless of whether it's white, black, or whatever, they're not taught in the church. I was like, this is something that I can provide for young men, I mean, even older men that actually want it, so they can, use these. And because I mean, the whole thing about the information is it's supposed to change your mind, your mind, so you can actually change your actions. So that's why I wanted to make this channel.
And you have to realize that sometimes you have to take like me, I got more out of Christianity and I got more out of church when I took a break from it.
Right.
Became an atheist, and then I came back to the church. Gotcha. Then like I felt like I was more or better performer of fundamentalist Christianity because I seen both sides of it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I seen it from the practicing the level of Christianity by itself with the trust in everybody, regardless of leadership or path, where you couldn't question anything, to leaving that environment, coming back with the idea that I could question these people because we're all part of the same group. And no matter whether you're a leader or not, and I was scared to do that as a person who was part of the faith, but now that I'm not part of the faith, but still practice it, a lot of people are like, no, he's more dedicated than a lot of these people around here.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, and even in the book, it says, faith without actions, is dead. So, I mean, it's one thing to say it and do all this emotional stuff, but not actually allowing it to actually change your state of mind. That way you can actually live and apply these concepts and precepts. Just shows, how full of crap you are.
Yeah. And it's like, if what you're talking about can't merely pass mild speculation, like, where are we?
Right.
Where are we really? I mean, because any type of system that you practice should be able to stand up to scrutiny from people inside and outside the group.
Right.
That should be the test of it.
Right. You're right. It should be. And that's the thing. It just goes to show that, which is why, I guess my other, one of my other streams I did, using God as a genie. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that these people do. They use him as a genie to wish for him to actually change their circumstances, not their state of mind, so they can actually change them themselves. Because that's what it's all about. You have the ability to actually change this, the state of mind you're in. I mean, you have to want to do it, and then that can change your surroundings. Once you change, I mean, you can change your surroundings once you change. The state of mind changes. And just because, and everybody doesn't have to be wealthy to be, what's the word I'm looking, productive or to have a good life. I mean, just using what you need, what you have, you'll find that you have everything you actually need, and you can make the most out of that and have that productive quality life.
Yeah, and like it took me to losing everything and being homeless to truly realize that I don't need a big house or an apartment or anything. Like I had everything that I needed once I left that situation and I got a 1 bedroom. I didn't need anything else except for the ability to produce and a place to go to sleep and the means of communication. That's all I needed. I thought I needed all this other stuff, but I just didn't. And it was just unneeded stuff that I was dragging up and down hills that I just really didn't need to bring with me.
Right. Right. We find a lot of us have done that, and a lot are still doing that. Taking things with you that need to be left behind, and that's why people they don't, whenever they read this book, they can't really apply it because of the simple fact they're not discarding the trash they need to discard and picking up and holding on to the concepts that they need to have that better life, as far as that changing their state of mind. Because whenever you change your state of mind, you begin to see things in a whole new different way, and you begin to appreciate them more too, no matter how big or small it is.
Yeah. And a lot of the times that you see, when you're not surrounded by older individuals who are supposed to protect the youth from these type of outcomes,
Mm-hmm.
these outcomes are supposed to be very few when it comes down to the generation below us. Like in my generation, I'm in my 40s. It would be ridiculous for me to entertain the actual notion of somebody selling drugs and making it within the environment. Even though I've seen a lot of people go all the way to prison, have ruined their entire life, and got out and still really never got it together. So for me, looking at a person actually doing that within the environment, I had not only me coming up, seeing all the people who actually went through that. It's only supposed to be a small percentage of people who's actually doing it. It ain't supposed to be a large percentage of people who have that mind state of thinking that stuff's okay. There shouldn't be that many people, even though it was that many in my generation.
Right. It shouldn't be, but we soon find out that it is that many, and it's pretty. It's bad. It's disturbing, but it just goes to show how long that this has been going on. That's why I like to say, it's not like it's new. So when all of these young dudes, whenever they hear these old people saying, "Well, in my generation, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like this in my generation," quit lying, nigga. It's been like that for several generations, and not accepting and not wanting to tell the truth on it only keeps the cycle going.
Yeah, and this is just where we are. It's like when you're brave enough to absolve yourself of the outcomes. They think that's bravery. For real. Like they really think that's bravery. I cannot believe that there's gambling going on in this casino. This casino? This casino that's been here 20 something years? With all the sparkly lights and the cards flashing and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, this is how crazy they look whenever they say it. But then they don't want to raise a hand to correct things because to them in their generation, any black meant all black. Black wasn't a standard. Black was a state of being without standards. And that's kind of what they want with family. They want a state of being without standards.
Mm.
And that stuff doesn't work because people who are got way far more money than I do, they don't care about that race stuff. They talking about having their daughters married off 18, 19 to a billionaire. They won. Their family's secure. She's going to be secure. Her name's going to be in the lights forever.
Right.
This is what it's supposed to do. Like, once you make it to a certain age, you have to be able to put your kids into a better position. And it's like, I tell people, your job as the parent is to make sure that you don't pay for college. All that money that you put into this child, you're going to get back when they get that dorm and that meal card. And all they got to do is work part-time to maintain their life at the next level. And then once they get done, they're probably going to be making more money than you and even have the ability to make even more money than that. You did your job.
Right. And two, the other thing too, the most important role that parents have is to equip their children with all the knowledge that they can. Useful knowledge, not a bunch of bullshit, but actual truthful knowledge. That way they can navigate through life after they leave.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we see, especially within the Black American conglomerate, that doesn't happen.
No, not at all. It's like, even though I lost my grandfather and father at like a young age, I didn't feel all that lost, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was already taught the things that I needed to do. It's just that I couldn't practice them within that environment that was there. Gotcha. I had to get out of that environment to go somewhere else to practice all the stuff that I need to. Because without a legitimate means of productivity and the ability to learn how to do something, none of that information was going to pop. And it all started to pop once I left that environment to where I literally couldn't do anything because nobody could.
Wow. Yeah. That's yeah, it tells. And it's kind of like makes me think about, when you participated whenever I did the Barbershop Talk on Abraham. And he told him, hey, get up, leave your father's home, leave your family, leave your relatives behind, and go here where I have something better for you. And you noticed that you had to leave to have something better and to do something better. And you begin to see that these people, they don't want that. They want you to stay down there with them.
Yeah, and it was like, one of the last conversations, like during some of the last week, we had a lot of great conversations that I didn't know that would actually make me who I was. But he was walking around his house and he was like, you're not inheriting this house.
Mm.
You're not inheriting anything around here. You have to leave. He made it sure, certain inside, you have to go. You can't stay here. You can't stay around here. It's too many of them. There's nowhere to work. There's nowhere for you to fail and to come back. You could fail one time and you could be stuck here. You have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how it was. You had to get up out of that situation. Because he could see it as somebody who was clearly 70, 80 some years old that, man, this is it. This is over.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing, that's important. That information is important to tell these young guys to know that, hey man, you got to go. It's a time when you got to go. And you know, the one thing I think about too is when you talked about when he told you that don't come back if you're gonna be stuck. You know,
Yeah.
you don't want to come back. You want to
Don't
be
come
able
back
to.
unless you got the means of leaving the same way you came.
Right.
Don't even think about coming back.
Exactly. And
Yeah, because you know, a lot of people got kicked out of the military or come out of jail or come back there. Next thing you know, they end up getting somebody pregnant, and yeah, you're done. You're stuck. Now you got to produce for a whole different group of reasons.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is, yeah, it's very important. You know, he did you a great service, and you know, in letting you know that. PLC Commissioner, what's up?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing good, sir. You?
This is the Dana White of the pillow fighting league.
Exactly. Good job, MOT. That's what I like about. That's what I like hanging out with smart people. Yeah, come on, King.
Oh, it's funny. Dana White of the pillow fight league. Oh, it's
That's what
great.
it is. The pillow fight challenge. You know, I was listening, and I got to thinking about the title that you had earlier. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and well, actually, right there, it's right there. That you know, the pearls before the pigs.
Right. Don't throw your pearls
And
before pigs.
yeah, you know, one thing that I think that perhaps is not, I guess, talked about or mentioned or even comes into the conversation is what exactly is a pig, and what would be exactly what will qualify you as not being one. What would take you? What qualifications and what characteristics or what traits will take you out of being considered a pig, which in this metaphor is used as an undesirable person. Yes.
Yes. Yes. A
Yeah.
very undesirable person who doesn't value quality things. They only really value uh, toxic things. So they add nothing of any true value.
Yeah. I mean, so if you look at,
Okay. No
yeah,
Say it again.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that something has to be said for that because there's a lot of people that don't take into account those things, and they pretty much don't know that they're with pigs. If you understand where I'm going with it,
Yeah,
and
I think I know
they
where you're going.
whatever they see. So I think it's something that really has to be, I guess, at least mentioned, because everybody, whoever they have next to them or wherever they throw pearls at, they think that they're worthy or they're not pigs.
Right.
And that's something that or either they don't want to see it. Maybe they want, like, you know, they cover their nose so they don't get that stink, or whenever or whenever that oink oink sounds, you know, they cover the ears or put on the noise canceling headphones. But something goes on to the point that they ignore all of the signs and all of the visuals as to what the pig is. I just wanted to kind of just bring that in there.
Oh yeah.
Comments.
Yeah, but you got to understand that having the eye of the pig is their highest achievement. This is why they don't want to start over. Like being the top of the food chain in an unclean environment is something that people have been working for and towards their entire life.
Mm.
This is like you think you're going down there to help them. You're not. You're going down there to tell them that there ain't anything for them down in a place that's their kingdom.
Mm.
So when you going to people trying to tell them about how well things are somewhere else, they don't want to hear that. They want to hear you give props and all this kind of stuff to where they currently are, because they're not trying to start over unless you're going to give them your house.
Yeah, for them to turn it up.
Like, oh, okay, we're both kings. Why don't I move into your castle? And you'd be like, no, you have to kind of come over here and build your own castle. It's like, well, look at all this. I got all this for free, and I'm at the top. And it's like, you don't understand that you're trying to make a wastewater treatment plant into an actual playpen. Like, that's not where you can play it, man.
That's it. So yeah, that's something that I just wanted to add that to the conversation, because I thought that you guys are. That's something that I was just thinking every time you guys were talking, and just the title, and I was just thinking about it. And it's, a lot of times, like you said, they think that they are at a castle, not a pig pen. It's really, they look around, or they start minimizing or grandizing where they are.
Yeah, yeah. They take the bag of shit and dress it up with Christmas paper, and then put that bow on it.
Well, at least I got this shit. Yeah. That's what I wanted to say. That's all. You guys have a nice flow, but that's why I just want to throw my 2 cents in for your discussion.
Hey, it was worth more than 2 cents. That's why I sent you the link, man.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. I'm getting ready for my next pillow fight.
I get it. Go ahead and do your thing with Marco White.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, peace.
Yeah,
but
he's right though. Like the pig isn't just the look; it's the circumstances.
Yes,
it's more of the circumstances than the actual animal itself. Because now you have clean kill facilities and all that kind of stuff, but it's the circumstances that the pig used to live in.
Yes.
Especially when there was no code enforcement back then. So you can imagine what the pig was living in back then.
Right. Yeah. The circumstances that they live in, the choices that they continue to make to be in those circumstances. That's the pig. That was a great one using the wastewater treatment. They want, that's the playpen. That's the kingdom right there. Yeah.
Never mind. It's across the street from like a paper factory. Nah, man.
Yeah. Look at all this I got here, man. This right here it's amazing. I mean, don't you want to be here? Nah, I'm good.
No, it's like if you live like downwind of like a paper factory, how you can smell it 35 miles before you actually hit the paper factory.
Yeah.
Itself, unbelievably horrible.
Yeah.
We got a couple in Idaho like that. Amazing views out in the middle of nowhere, but that smell of that paper factory, man, it nauseating after a while.
Yeah, that and you got plants where they make the dog food too, and they use everything. Cattle feed, and they grind all that mess up, man. It mess. Ooh.
Yeah, we got that on the north side of Denver, the Purina plant.
Okay,
and man, let me tell you, and something that's worse than all that put together is, I'm not sure if you've ever been to a catfish feed.
No, I've never been, but it does not surprise me being catfish.
Man. A place that does farm raised catfish.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot even. The smell is unimaginable. But that's worse than all that.
It is bad. It is bad. Yeah.
But it's the circumstances. It is the circumstances all day. And a lot of people don't understand that you're something without those circumstances. There's another up without those circumstances.
Right.
And if the circumstances become normal to you, then you bring them circumstances everywhere. It's kind of like when you bring people out of these environments, they try to bring the environment to the new environment. It's like, man, the whole point of the new environment was for you to leave that stuff alone, man.
Right. that's, that's why you gotta leave niggas in the hood. Because if you don't, these niggas gonna take it with them to the next place. You gotta cut these people off. Uh, so now they turn and tear this new society to pieces. So yeah, you gotta leave them there. You gotta. That's the other thing about this particular scripture. It's about knowing when to cut off dead weight. Um, it's like dead flesh. You got to cut that. These surgeons, they cut all that dead flesh off, because if you don't, it kills the other good flesh around it. So yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people think that any flesh is okay flesh, just as long as it's here with us. And we can't deal with the good and the bad together. I'm like, man, who gave this dude the right to talk? And not only that, who gave this dude the right to be listened to? Like, get this dude out of here.
Right.
That's where we at, man.
Yeah, it's exactly where we're at. It's bad, but it's exactly where we're at. It just goes to show the mindset, of this society, of these people. But like you say, whenever you get around quality people who hold better standards and accept nothing less than that for people that are going to be around them, you can learn to leave all that unnecessary stuff behind. That way, you don't let it to infect you and others too.
No doubt, man. It's just that it's supposed to be a simple lesson for people in a simple place, but when you got simple people in a very complex place, and the simple lessons become very overwhelming, man.
Yeah.
Very overwhelming. Because a lot of people, these people's being was based on mastering and negotiating the pig. Everything about it. So now they're like, they don't want to do anything simple. They want to do something that's super complicated. It's normal. It's like, listen, man, I'm not trying to play life on the veteran difficulty without. What's going on with this Dark Souls, man?
Yes. Dark Souls. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And you know what? That is so appropriate. It is like playing Dark Souls when it's on the most ultimate difficulty, and then trying to be, you being a level 10, being in a spot where you're only supposed to be if you're level 30.
Yeah, so it's like mosquito bites, butterflies, and like kittens meowing would like take you out the game. Yeah. And somehow you're supposed to deal with everything else other than that.
Right.
After that, like, nah, we good, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a perfect reference. Yeah, it is like Dark Souls. Oh my goodness, this shit is too funny. So it becomes to a point where the only thing you can do is pretty much just laugh at it, at the whole ridiculousness of the situation and mindset. And like Zero says too, you can't really talk to these people. You can't tell them anything because they're too freaking emotional. That whenever you try and give them some good information, it's it's 1,000 excuses, and then you just don't care enough. Well, no, I don't. I mean, that's your situation to get yourself out of. So,
but you have to look at the processing mechanism. And look at the information is, can I get any further in this situation with this information? And then there's like an if then else, and if there's no, it goes right out the ear. But if it's yes, then it goes through like these 100,000 trees of decision making that most of it still ends up out in the other ear kind of thing, man. It's crazy.
Hey, you know what? It's pretty much applicable to the buffet line that niggas love so much. They going, nah, I don't want that. They overlooked it. Oh yeah, I want this over here. This is what I want. Oh no, I'm gonna pass up these greens over here. I don't want them. I'm gonna pass up these peas. You know what I want? I'm gonna go straight over here to this old dessert bar. So yeah, that's exactly how they do it.
So it's like smart buffets know to have a small ass salad bar and small plates of cake. If they put
Yes.
the whole cake out there, some person is walking away with half the cake.
Yes. Yes. They are. You're right. Small cuts of meat too, because they gonna try to take the whole loin.
Correct. Correct. That's why somebody is over there cutting the steak, no matter how big it is. Somebody is still cutting that. Because you'll have somebody walking away with a whole leg of cow, even though they don't fix it that way, if they possibly could.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And you see it all too much, yeah, they're gonna take it all. I mean, it's like if you're having these functions. Oh my gosh, it's interesting, watching how these niggas work. It's like looking at the Discovery Channel. You'll see them making all of these doggone plates and taking them out. They'll be taking them out to the car.
I mean, it's not news to us, so it's like Negro undiscovered.
Yeah, yes, yes. Yeah, you
what uncovered here now?
Yes. Look at the Negro in his natural environment. Oh my gosh, he's bringing out the foil. Now it wasn't previously here, but he brought it with them so they could take it back. So they could take back all of the food that they could stuff into the car.
Into the more natural environment.
Yes.
That is going to transport them either back to their even more natural environment, the hood.
Yes. Yes, they're taking it back. And then all of a sudden, you'll hear him with lines like, "Hey, you know what? Hey, I gotta get my neighbor. My neighbor need a plate. My brother, my sister, my kid, and all these people, they need a plate. But doggone well, they don't give a damn about none of these people. It's all going straight to their fridge."
And as you can see, they're bringing up different names of individuals who the food is never going to reach to get even more of what they call the plate.
Oh man, yeah. And matter of fact, it makes me think of a friend was telling us one time, whenever a guy went to the Chinese food restaurant, he was eating up all that. They look at it, told him, "Oh no, you pay for two."
If they bring you your ticket, man, man. They have called it for you.
Yes. Chinese people got slick, boy. They started, they bring out the scale for the place and everything. Oh yeah, no, that's too much. We charge you more for that.
Sir, you reach your air quotes maximum daily withdrawal limit of our establishment for one person. But if you want to pay for 3 personnel,
yeah,
be much obliged to keep you around, fair brother. But one person, you've had quite enough.
Oh man, yeah. So so now they get mad when people done caught on to the tricks and all that they trying. Yeah, you trying to stuff three plates off into one plate. Oh yeah, no, we on to you now. Yeah, we charge you for 2 plates. Come on with it next time. But yeah, it just goes to explain the mindset of the culture and that waste treatment analogy you use. So, oh man. But it's what it is. It's how they do. And that's why they show that they're pigs. And that's why you don't want to waste your time and your space with people like that, because they end up dragging you down into the cesspool with them, and you end up smelling like them in the long run.
Yeah, that's what we are, man. And it's like being in those type of circumstances is a choice. Like a lot of people was raised within those circumstances that was not a choice. Now, trying to maintain those circumstances for the next generation because it's the best way to hide your lack of progress in life, that is also a choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is a choice. It's a choice that they choose. And the people that you actively have around you is the other choice too.
No doubt.
Yeah. So I mean, you can't. I mean, you can't play nigga games and not expect to win nigga prizes. It is what it is. I mean, you gonna get out what you put in. So I mean, if you're putting that in, that's what you're gonna get out.
I agree.
But man, this has been a good one. I know we could go on and on, but I think we've covered this pretty much as good as we can. I mean, like I said, you know, it's a very simple.
And then
it's very simple.
40 minute show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very simple it's a very simple scripture to break down and show how we can apply it and how it's not being applied and why things are the way they are. It's not something that, you know, you had to go into a whole lot, but I think we've done quite a bit with it here, MOT.
Yep.
But I guess while I'm at it, before we get out of here, Marco does have a stream coming up later. That's it right there. Y'all can go over there and check it out. I want to thank everyone for coming out. MOT, your closing thoughts, sir?
Closing thoughts is your life is supposed to be a lived experience of the things you did right and the academic experience of the stuff that you did not witness, that you knew you didn't have to practice. So I want to thank you for having me on.
Oh yeah, thank you for coming on, and thank you, like I said, for promoting it in your community tab. Appreciate it all, brother. And
all right, cool, man.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Right,
yeah, and I just want to say thank y'all for coming out. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Marco, for coming up and providing us with the Akon questions, for filling in. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it, Marco. You know, like I said, I wanted to have these great conversations on great subjects that we can use to enrich our own lives. And the questions that you brought, you know, is very, very introspective and very needed because most people don't know who the pigs are, or they just don't care to know. But like I said, you know, Marco's got that stream. Go ahead and hit that, and that way you can hit the reminder on there. You won't be late. You can go in and check it out. But that's all I got. I want to say thank y'all to we're almost at 200. Who let the pigs out? We're almost at 200 subscribers. I want to say thanks to all my latest subscribers, and hit that like button on the way out. Peace, everybody.